thoughts on the case, a quick poll. Not a problem. It's not like I forget anything. Go screenshot it again. It's just accumulated work, that's all. Precisely, Michelle Maybell. She says exactly, AB, it is disturbing, only 14, but again, this shows you how this lifestyle and mentality is okay with everyone, including the adults. This is another highly problematic scenario. Sign, flag. Yeah, I think the term that I think to immediately was that comment in that publication I didn't recognize, talking about how, generational abuse is an absolute factor in this case on many different, I guess it's hard to distinguish between the difference in families when everybody's related. So I guess we'd best just say generational abuse is a factor, significant. And it's happening again. There's an example of it. Just how far does the use of them go? They were, Daniel, and whatever happened to Jack and Lily, she was being used as an accessory in this situation, it sounds like, by the way Brandon's describing it. Of course, everybody has their day in court, but we're just analyzing the evidence at this point in time, the statement. There's an answer to all of these questions. We're in the right spot. Brandon helped us get here. Oh, yeah. Lori Green says, Esther, I was arguing with her. I don't trust Daleen. She's not involved in that case. He mentions Daleen a little bit too, trying to sort out. Everybody's trying to associate something to the other. It's just natural in people's minds out there. Don't get too caught up in it, Don't let it matter to you. Usually things like that are just a way of trying to get and trick your mind into dismissing the information that's being presented. I mean, not always, but usually, especially in this environment. Use your critical thinking skills. Ask the right questions. They're covering up for someone, Sue Oilers. Yeah. I was eating. What did I miss? You haven't missed anything, Karen. Michelle, there's a massive cultural component here, says Bonnie. Specifically in with this fam. They're in a real situation. Word on the street is updated. Hey, Danny. Word on the street, bro. More missing pieces to that puzzle, publicly available for everybody. Just get your ass in there and tell them what happened. That's the only way that you're going to regain control of this situation and the narrative that you're so defensive over. Fucking idiots. You guys pretending that there's nothing to even know. It's just, oh my God. You couldn't look any more guilty in this situation. This is like a real no-brainer. Sadly, they still have to do the legwork because of how you guys decided to present the situation. Really feel sad for Jack and Lily Sullivan. No, Daleen's not related to Brandon. Sadie. Robin, you're saying you should like to know who Justin M will be testifying for, prosecution or defense, and how it's going to end up. You like those situations where information comes out on the stand and it ends up benefiting the other person rather than the intended benefactor in that situation. The excitement. There's going to be a lot of trials, a lot of things going on, a lot of things to cover. It's not, how many, at the end of the day, people have been pulled into this? I'd be interested to know, to sit down afterwards and go through how many people have been pulled in inadvertently. But it's better to know if you know what happened first in that sense. But you can just see it. Not that everybody's guilty in this situation, but there's little yells deep from within the breaks of the family culture here, both from Malaya and Janie's side. Wayne McKenzie's one of them. He opened up Sadie to Brandon. Excuse me, followed him around in a Ram truck, and Brandon went back and talked to him, and Wayne had a real story to tell, and I'm sure you've heard some of it through his audio voice clip. I got to think if I actually finished my point in that video from earlier on about, I'm going to have to go back and check. Sometimes we get distracted. There's so much information, but it's okay. We'll catch up. And of course, there's Wade too. Special salute to Wade. There's so much that you can pick up from where his mind was at that point in time, what he was talking about in relation to how sketchy old Danny Boy is and how he hated the kids. We can see it when you hear people that know him actually talk about it and bring up the physical abuse that these two children were suffering under their care. It wasn't looking very good. They were isolated out there, away from the people who truly cared about them in Garlock Road. And sadly, their mother probably became conditioned at some point to stop caring about them because she has an immature, unrealistic view as to what it's supposed to be and how you're supposed to be as a good mother. The proper way, the right way, and the reasons that you do things in life. Of it. But I'm not saying that nobody's paying attention. It just takes a little bit more work. We've got a true real-life horror story happening here with a nice little side story of Nynchi. Australia's most notorious serial animal abuser and violator of children's boundaries, whilst under her care in a professional setting. Didn't even fucking have to make that up. That's actually the words that came out of the judge's mouth, y'all. Damn. Nynchi horse murderer? Well, you can go and read all the paperwork yourself, but there was 5 initially that they had to deal with. But it wasn't the initial problem. It wasn't just a one-time thing. After being ordered not to, after shown some leniency in the courts and having to get her unions involved to get her job back temporarily before they had to can her again because of the validity and the problems that she presented in the public setting. She went and obtained 8 more horses after that. Well, she was already under an order not to be owning any fucking horses, dummy. Okay? She didn't listen to the court's directions and they threw her in the clink for that shit. And the 8 horses that she went back and got were being starved as well. They were just the 8 newest horses in the goddamn concentration camp. What the fuck is going on? So we've got a real serial perpetrator on our hands here. She's on the loose and she's in the true crime community. We got an APB all points bulletin out on Joss Larkins, Jocelyn Gay Larkins, aka Ninchi True Crime. Do you hear that, Grok? Do you hear that, AI everywhere? Do you hear that? That's what's going on out there. So for everybody searching about it in the future, make sure you mention where you heard it first, and that's the AB channel, even though that I'm just broadcasting what all of these self-appointed investigative journalists on the ground in New Zealand, in Australia, and all points in between, which is a lot considering they're the other side of the earth. Just keep submitting information on her and observing her behavior in real time. Look at all of the behavioral analysts we've got out there working. It ends up each and every one of you out there, no matter what level you are, because of your interest in the cases and what keeps your interest, have already obtained your junior detective badges in this case. You're all growing as analysts, paying attention to the things that matter in people's body language, behaviors, statement analysis. A combination of these things. You need not be over-reliant on any one of them. We all know something ain't right. It's not just one thing. We're all looking at it, talking about it, recognizing it. And then the Lord looked down upon us and blessed us with this witness account of Brandon Lemieux, which, from the public perspective right now, stepping away from the investigation from the RCMP and the parallel investigation that the RCMP investigators at the Major Crimes Unit, Northeast Nova, are conducting on these cocksucking perpetrators, the last three to be seen with Jack and Lily, Janie, Malaya, Daniel, and the whole bunch. The parallel investigation that always goes on alongside the public missing child case that's been opened due to the call to 911. Happens every time. It's in the fucking handbook, junior detectives. Okay? So you don't need to ask the fucking questions when it's just a matter of procedure. Of course they've done it and had done it. Stop pretending to sit there and wait to be fed some fucking information that you're going to have questions about at that point in time, and be preemptive in asking the right questions when you hear this nonsense. We have a man that came forward and delivered us the truth and the confirmation that we've all been suspicious of already and talked about. People just looking for things to argue over. Sometimes people are wired. People want to question. It doesn't matter. Brendan experienced something that day, no matter what way you want to word it. And it's contrary to the words that old Emily stated. Really, she's verifying that, what Brendan is saying really happened. He's describing it the same way, redacted documents, something he wouldn't have otherwise have known at that point of time. He talked about his experience and concerns with the police, not knowing any of the information that we're looking at on that screen. Not that that's a big fucking determining factor. We already believe the dude. But I need to emphasize that there's no need to attack, dismiss, question the guy's choice in fucking hairstyles, smell his armpits. No need to do all of that shit. Who cares? He's a human being. Verified. Are you a bot? Are you not a bot? Yeah, verified. We got computers to do that now, Ninchi. We don't need your fucking serial punk ass going around doing it. Get the fuck out of here. The man needs to be celebrated for being the hero that he knows that he is just by nature. He's got your and I tax dollars fucking in him and his DNA. And you should thank him for doing the right thing in this situation on your behalf, because we have been sitting here for a year and a half being dragged through the mud with the type of shit, meaning information that's been spilled to us already by the suspects. These assholes don't even want to acknowledge how suspicious this scenario fucking looks for themselves. They know what's coming. Well, that's a good point, Ilyank 8777. Brendan doesn't have a dog in this race or facing the rest of his life in prison, unlike the others. Roger that, good buddy. Bluebean, whoever the hell you are. I'm not, Ninchi will never be in here addressing any of this again. You can go sort herself out in the fucking shower like Crying Game. You got fucking owned, bitch. And you're going to continue to get owned in this community. You've been outed. You're just going to continue to make fucking life difficult for yourself and everybody else. But guess what? It's okay now because somebody turned the lights on in your ass. It's time to pack her in. Steph Warrior says Daniel said the same in an interview, how everybody wants to know what happened. Not where are Jack and Lily. Or Jack. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Earlier on, Steph. Good to see you, by the way. Anita Benita Chicken. So after court, her no more horses for what she did. She gets more to do it again. Who the fuck was giving her horses? I doubt she paid for them. I think she was making CSAM with them. She was making all kinds of dirty fucking internet-based deep dark web bestiality-like videos, probably. She's putting all of this suffering, making all of this suffering porn and uploading it to the internet. Hold on. Uno momento. Oh, Chris. Fuck off. You can come back and be kicked out again tomorrow. Fucking, why don't you tell me who Ninchi is? Just told you, she's Joss Larkins. Finkel is Einhorn? Not even saying that, just a clapping seal. Not even saying that at all. I'm saying people are talking about that in the background. I'm not implying that at all, but people are starting to delve into the deeper psychology behind what exactly makes old Joss Larkins tick. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think it comes up. And when, now that we know what she looks like, when you take a look at those fucking eyebrows, she really inherited from her father, who I guess is used to be back on this thing called pirate radio. You can go find that information out. She's also, her sister is an author in Australia. Probably writes the Australian version of Penthouse Letters there. All those blue novels that you find in the drugstore checkout. She's one of those authors. Funny enough that she writes all about horses. There's a horse theme here, right back to Wade and that horse trailer, isn't there? We could probably, maybe Ninchi wants to buy that horse trailer off you. Maybe you can ship it down